Hello, John again with another video, and as you can see it's the ZX Spectrum Plus. So this video is going to be about the ZX Spectrum, and it's all about this, the DivMMC cartridge, and this allows you to put all your games that you've got onto a solid state drive. It's got a joystick interface, but it allows you to load them onto your ZX Spectrum, so you don't need to have a tape deck anymore. Fits in the normal expansion port. It's got a couple of disc switches on there, and this is currently set up for the ZX Spectrum Plus, and a Kingston joystick. So just going to plug her in and switch her on. There you go, plugged in. So let's point back at the telly. And we'll switch her on. And straight away you see the DivMMC DOS booting in. And now we're in the normal Sinclair screen. Now there's two buttons on the cartridge. There's a red button, which is the reset, and the blue button takes you straight into the contents of the SD card. And you just use the cursor keys to move down. So there we go, games. So there's the ones that came on the card, and the knife put some in there as well. So we'll go in there. Now there's quite a lot of games in there. It's 470, so I'm going to skip through them. Now if you cursor right, it does it by pages. I'm going to see if I can find Jet Set Willy. So we're up to B's, E's, F's, I's, J's. Here we go. One too many. So Jet Set, there you go. Press enter, and away we go. So let me just reacquaint myself with the instructions here. Let's have a look. Let's do 3. That'll tell me. Once upon a time, a housewife named Gertie was doing the washing when the microchip in the spin dryer went mad and sucked her in through the door. Right, so it's O and P left and right, and it's M and N for jump. So M and N for jump. Right, so 0, put the sound on, play. And there's the sound out the Spectrum. You might not hear it. Here we go. Oh dear. Takes me back to messing around with my friends, because I had the Commodore. My mates only had the Spectrum. Whoa! So being round their house, playing the Specky, and they would come round our house and play it on the Commodore. Oh dear. Oops. Alright. There we go. Whoa, dear. Jump. Oh, I'm going to have to do it again. Oh, I don't like being on corners. Oh, you can't jump and run at the same time. There we go. Oh, it's done it again. Oh dear. Oh. I'm glad I've got the patience of a saint. Here we go. Let's try again. Who would have thought the first screen would have been so difficult? Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, come on. Here we go. All the way to the end. Oh, doors opened at the bottom. Oh, run, 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 run. Oh. There we go. So now I've got a solid state system for the 64, for the VIC, for the Spectrum now. Got one for the BBC. Oh, stop that. And how this works is you take this SD card out, plug it into your computer, and it's just formatted in FAT32. So as you saw the directories in there, that's the directories that comes up on your computer. And it's a great little toy from these fellas, Bike Delight. And it comes with a very nice 8-page manual, and it means that you no longer have to mess around with tape decks. You just download the games from wherever you go, you know, World of Spectrum or something like that, put them on the SD card, and then you can play them on the Spectrum. And the fact that you can plug your joystick in, you get a bonus, because then you can play the games with the joystick. I'm loving this. I'm glad I got it. It's not cheap, but it's well worth it. And if you want to be able to program on the Spectrum, you can do it on the computer if you want. Transfer it as a TAP file onto here and then load it in. Because there's some couple of the games that I've been messing around with on here, and it's written in BASIC. And so you could actually see in ZX Spectrum Basic how it was working, like Defender. I think that's written in BASIC. I'll have to show you it. I'll have to load it up and show you it. In fact, I'll do it now, just to show you how good this is. So I'll switch back on, let it boot up. There we go. So it's booting up, detecting the drive. We'll go into it. We'll go into games. We'll go into one tap. And Defender D. So A's, B's, and we should get C's, and then it's D's. Here we go. Defender. So it loads up. So it's doing this now. This is what it's doing. It's reading all the data files for the text, because it's going to change the font. Takes about 30 seconds or so. Here we go. So as you can see, the font's changed. Press enter to continue. Pressing the key. 1. There we go. Now if I press brake, it allows you to break. So it's broke at line 6020. So if I do list, there you go. It is actually a basic program. So wave completion, all humanoids have been taken, game over. And then here we come with all the data points. Introduction, draw the display, initialize the variables, poke the graphics. So these are all the, this is all the data for all the characters that it redefines. Got the instructions. So how about that, eh? Wicked. So if I break that and then do run, it should start it again. There you go. So there's a load of, and these games you can get off World of Spectrum. I would, if you've got a Spectrum and you want to play the games that you play in an emulator, it's well worth buying that. So with that, I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.